I am not my past. Hi, I'm Katy Porter, and this is my story. I come from a small town in the suburbs of Indiana. My life was fantastic. I had loving parents, family, and friends. I had everything I could need or want. I was homeschooled and was thriving. Dance classes every week, church on Sundays, family nights, it was picture perfect. When I was 9, we took a trip to Disney and a cruise. That was my last and first big family vacation. That was in June of 2016. In July of 2016, my dad moved out and my parents started uttering the words, divorce. Because I was homeschooled, I didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that my dad, my rock, my best friend, was gone and nothing was going to be the same again. Through the divorce, we lost our family home, animals, and cars. I felt so alone. My dad moved 45 minutes to an hour away. I didn't see or talk to him, and it crushed me. When I was 12, we were finally able to settle down in a house again. Up to that point, we went from house to house, city to hotels, trying to find something stable, all while my dad was nowhere to be found. We saw him some, but not much. We settled down at my Nana's in April of 2019. Everything was finally okay. We had what we needed, and we had family. Of course, we had our ups and downs, but we had each other. I had my brother, who was a junior in high school, my cousin, who was in college, and came home often due to health complications. I also had my mom, my aunt, and my Nana. They were also a huge support system. They are the reason I got through this stage. January 26th of 2020, I was woken up by my mom shaking me. She said it was my cousin. It was 3:46 in the morning when we arrived at the hospital, and I immediately knew. She was gone. I didn't need someone to tell me that. I could feel it. I had grieved the loss of my dad, house, and animals, and now I grieved the loss of my best friend. A few days before she passed, I had just started public school. I remember her telling me how proud she was of me. I remember the look on her face when I told her I wanted to go to school. That was everything. That all came crashing down before me in just a second. I was numb through the funeral, along with everything that had happened after. My dad wasn't there even when I needed him most. No phone call from him, just a text saying, "I'm sorry." I blocked everything off after that, just trying to make it through. In March 2020, the whole world shut down, meaning now I had to grieve alone in my home, no grief groups, no therapy offices, or even seeing my friends. I had to learn how to cope by myself. I started self-harm. At first, it was just something to let me feel again. It wasn't until spring of 2021 that it started to become an addiction. I found myself needing it every night, like a monster that would not let me go no matter what. I craved it to some extent. My brother was in college and didn't call or text. I felt like I wasn't ready for therapy yet and not sure if I even wanted help. I got bullied for it, people saying it was gross and that I shouldn't need it. How else was I supposed to survive? If you were drowning, would you ask if the rope that you were holding would give you rug burn, or would you just hold it and survive? That's what I did. I survived. In March of 2020, I decided to quit. I threw everything away. In March of 2022, I decided to quit. I threw everything away and decided to fight for myself. The summer before my sophomore year was great. The fall was great. It collapsed in January of 2023. I was going through a major depressive episode. I didn't eat, sleep, or drink anything for a week. I stopped going to school and my teachers thought I was faking it. I was told that I could suck it up, and that was my last straw. I relapsed in March of 2023, 14 days before my 1 year free of self-harm. I hid it. I was ashamed. I went online for the rest of the year. I was not able to perform with my dance team because of absences. I was being punished for my mental health. I felt like a failure. I felt like nothing. Summer into my junior year was great. We got a new dance coach, and people were talking about captain titles. My name is being brought up now. However, I was displaced at the beginning of my junior year. My mom had fallen and broken both her arms, leaving me with a sense of feeling alone. This was the first time I had stayed with my dad in over 6 years, and even then, it was only for a weekend. The rest of the time, I was with my Nana, not knowing if she'd be home for my birthday. I relapsed from the stress of all that. The day before I left, she came home at the beginning of October. I was preparing to go on an FFA trip for 4 days. The day before I left, my school had informed me that because I had missed 13 days of school, I was not able to go to my trip. My school principal had also informed me that because of my absences for these 13 days, I would not be successful in my life. I fought hard, and they let me go for 2 days instead of the 4. December rolls around, and I find out that my GPA had fallen to a 2.9, and I had to have a 3.0 to be in National Honor Society. I love National Honor Society. The second semester, I fought hard to raise my grades, but not succeeding, even with A's and B's. I didn't get it. I relapsed again. All my efforts, and I still wasn't enough. I fought and went to summer school. I had to take 4 classes in 3 weeks while balancing a mission trip, being senior dance captain, and practicing for our 4th of July parade. It was not easy, but through it all, I raised my GPA to a 3.0, getting all A's in my classes. Fall semester, my senior year was amazing. I had football season senior night with both of my parents. Our football team even went to state, and I was able to perform at Lucas Oil Stadium. Basketball season, however, was not so great. My basketball senior night, my dad did not show. I was crushed. So crushed, I was self-destructive. I skipped school and stopped caring. I was the president of our Ring Change to My Club, but I felt like my mental health didn't matter, or that it was horrible. However, I did not relapse. I hit my 1 year clean on the day that I graduated, May 24th, 2025. I graduated with honors, National Honor Society, Ring Change to My president, school dance captain, along with FFA. Everyone told me I couldn't, and I would never get better, but I fought for what I wanted and reached the top. I am now a member of the SMWC dance team, and I am going for psychology along with minoring in equine assisted therapy. As I leave, I want to leave you with this. Always keep fighting. 3 words that helped me through. Finding God was the first turning point in my life to where I am now. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are enough, and you have the strength to get through. Always keep fighting is something all of us should carry with